Welcome back to the table. I'm Kim Ganassin, and today I want to talk to you a little bit more about the dimensions of consciousness as we anticipate the shift from 3D to 5D. Okay, so today we're going to look at some specifics of 5D as I have seen it as your multidimensional channel. Okay, and when I say seen it, what I really mean is I have experienced it as a vibrational reality. That's what I do as a channel. I absorb vibration, I feel the vibration, and the interpretation comes from years of studying the differences between vibration and trusting my nervous system to allow that vibration to trickle up into my brain where it turns into pictures and words and sounds and other types of feelings as well. Okay, so let's move forward with what is 5D. Okay, we talked earlier about dimensions 1 through 3 being spatial, right? One line is one dimension, 2 is 2 dimensions, right? And then depth is the 3rd dimension. These are spatial dimensions. We've also touched on the 4th dimension a little bit as possibly the element of time, or sort of a bridge dimension between our current consciousness in these bodies on the planet as human beings and our consciousness as it is outside of our bodies on the other side. So that in-between stage might also be thought of as the 4th dimension. Okay? Now, I'm here to tell you that for our purposes as humans looking forward to our expansion into the 5th dimension of consciousness, I want to let you know, once again, we are not conceptualizing it. We are looking to experience it for what it is. Let's remind ourselves here that conceptualizing something is actually an act of creation. Okay? Conceptualizing is an act of creation. Now, what I mean by that is on the vibrational level, when you conceptualize something that you don't actually know, you are creating a vibration straight from your head of what you think something might be. Okay? So conceptualizing is an act of creation on the vibrational level. Now, actually knowing something, you know what that is? Knowing something is an act of grace. Knowing is an act of grace. Now, why do I say that? Because you have to have a level of surrender of what is in order to allow it to be what it is as it enters your nervous system and informs you of what it is, right? So there's 2 ways that you have to have grace. You have to give grace to what is an actual thing that you did not create through conceptualization, which is what we all do so very, very often in life. We really, truly cling to our concepts because we created them and we know that they're safe. And we base much of our belief, much of our life, much of our interactions on our own conceptualization of things. There's not anything wrong with that necessarily, but we are moving forward. Okay? We are actually expanding into the 5D. And so we have to give grace to that which we did not create ourselves in our minds. Okay? That's a tough one. But I know when I say it simply like that, giving grace to that which you did not create and that which already exists is what you have to, that's what you have to give grace to. Okay? And it'll help you to understand what 5D is. Now the other thing you have to give grace to, yourself. Okay? Why do you have to give grace to yourself? Because you were already made sensitive to that which exists that you did not create. You are already sensitive to it just the way you are. You were born that way. People have tried to talk you out of things that you know in favor of things that have been conceptualized as a group and accepted as normal and acceptable. You know, you haven't really been allowed to know things for yourself in a group setting among other humans. Well, I want you to give yourself that grace. Give yourself the grace to be complete enough and magical enough that you can know what you have not created yourself. Okay? Now the other thing about giving grace to yourself is to know that you are complete in yourself. Okay? Not only do you have the ability to know what you did not create, but you are complete. Okay? You're not broken up into bits. You're not damaged. You really haven't been damaged by the world. It's changed your mind. It's changed some of your feelings. But you have to know that down deep, you're not ruined, right? You're not destroyed. You haven't been diminished in any way. You're right here and you're whole. And you are meant to be here. You are meant to create, but you are also meant to know. So I want you to give yourself the grace to do all of those things, okay? And that's going to help you transition so very naturally. Just expand with grace for yourself and for what is, and it will bring you right into that fifth dimensional consciousness. Okay? Now, what else is the fifth dimension? Well, the fifth dimension seems to be that as you are sitting in knowledge of your wholeness, right? That knowledge, that feeling of wholeness within yourself means that you don't have to enter into power struggles with anyone anymore. You just don't have to do it. You're complete. What do you need from that person over there? You know, what do you need from that group? You don't need anything. You really are complete. And you're going to know your completeness. Okay? Fifth dimension is the dimension of knowing and the dimension of grace. Okay? So, one last thing. The fifth dimension is a place where there will be no more exploitation of humans or animals or resources on the planet. When you know that you are whole, you don't have to hoard resources. Really, it's those people on the planet hoarding resources that are the ones that are most dissociated from their inner wholeness. You know what I mean? When you give yourself grace to reassociate with your wholeness, you're not going to need to be more powerful than anyone else, richer than anyone else. You're not going to need to hoard resources. You're not going to need to exploit animals. You're not going to need to exploit resources on the planet. There is an entirely different, not just mindset, but an entirely different self-knowing when you can feel your wholeness as a reality, as a vibrational reality within yourself. Not just a concept that somebody can walk over and erase out of your head or talk you out of. There's no concept of it. The fifth dimension is the dimension of knowing. Okay? So, start practicing this now, because this is literally the bridge for you to make the transition. Right? Start giving grace to yourself, to your wholeness, to your perfection, to your sensitivity. And start giving grace to what is. What is must be acceptable to you. You must be able to receive it with the confidence of knowing that you don't really need anything from it because you're already whole. It is you. You are it. As within, so without. Right? Everything will be known deeply by everyone. as a state of perfect balance. Okay? Those are a lot of big concepts, and I threw them out there pretty quickly. I mean, it's just a few minutes here that we've been working on this. But I invite you to leave your questions, and I hope that you'll think about these concepts and start up some conversations, start talking about how close you are to feeling that sense of wholeness within yourself and celebrating it as your future and the bridge to 5D. We'll go more into 5D another time. Thanks so much for being here. Take care, and I'll see you next time.